What up, guys? Your boy Tung So is back, and yes, today we'll be doing another video. So today we'll be doing a little series called Football Documentaries. So I'll be talking about real football's hottest topics in this world. So today we'll be talking about how the fact that Red Bull, okay, the drink Red Bull, alright, that so-called Austrian brand managed to they're changing the whole landscape of football, right? Okay, teams like RB Leipzig, RB Salzburg, all these are changing. Okay, they were from the bottom. Okay, like the fourth, fifth division, if I'm not wrong. Then they already climb up, and now they're already challenging for the so-called Champions League. So yeah, today we'll be talking about that. So if you like that, your job is to press that like button and smash the subscribe button. So please do, and also you all better be enjoying this video. I'll be putting my Instagram down here. So yes, let's get into today's video. So the first thing we have to talk about is their wealth, okay? Red Bull, we all know that Red Bull is a very, very wealthy So Red Bull itself, they make a lot of money. So that's where the first step of the plan comes in, right? They started off with RB Salzburg, which is like the team in Austria, which is the same brand, which is the brand itself from Austria. So yeah, Salzburg was like at the very bottom, okay? We can talk about at the very, very bottom, like let's say like the fourth, fifth division of Austrian football, yeah. But then eventually when Red Bull come over, right, they took over. Okay, the first thing they try to change is the facilities used there, and then the stadium itself. Okay, everything they change. Alright, the wealthiness is often it's not really talked about much in football, but yes, in this case, yes. Salzburg managed to climb back up. Okay, they invested a hefty amount of money into the facilities, and as a result, a lot of players grow into the system itself. So eventually, Salzburg managed to climb up the ladder, the top of the league, and eventually they're now in the Champions League and challenging the Champions League teams. As you can see, like against that Liverpool match, that 4-3, I'll put it here. Don't worry, in case you all forget. Yes, it was crazy, right? They managed to climb up from the bottom, and they climbed all the way towards the top itself. So yes, that's the first thing how Red Bull managed to reinvent football. So the second thing I need to talk about is how they do in the US market. So in terms of football, right, the market itself, we're talking about scouting players, buying either big names or rising stars. But in this case, Red Bull itself, they didn't really do that. Okay, they focus on providing programs, alright, which are free cost. Okay, very, very cheap programs for talents all over the US. Okay, in in the so-called MLS. Okay, young players are given a chance and they will be scouted by the Red Bull scouts. So yes, young players are given more opportunities in Red Bull. So yes, that's another way, because when you buy, they'll be able to so-called invent bigger players. They transform small players into big names. So yeah, that's one thing we need to talk about. For example, Tyler Adams, who was at RB Leipzig. Okay, he was scout. At first, he was in New York, but eventually he was scouted. Okay, by the Red Bull. Okay, by the Red Bull scouts, which I talk about the program itself. They were scouted by the scouts. So as a result, Red Bull Leipzig gave him a chance, and now he's already succeeding. He's a very solid player. I'll put his picture right up here so you guys can tell who he is. So yeah, that's another thing. One more thing is the investment in youth facilities. All right. So youth development these days is super important, because we need a lot of players to run, be physical, and that's what the Red Bull, so-called Red Bull business, the company did. Okay, first priority is that they invest in a hefty amount into facilities for younger players. They invest in a very, very good amount of what's the thing called, technology, complex technology. All right, so this technology involves a lot of data. Okay, very important data. Okay, those so-called younger players are able to learn from the data and improve as well. Also need to point out the fact that Red Bull also invested into halls, football halls, teaching halls. Okay, teach the younger players about the style of play, all of this, which brings me to the next point. Right, the training itself. So Red Bull has established their own so-called personal tactics, which is pressing, counter-pressing, and quick switching, which is very, very effective strategies. So if I can tell, I tell you this, if you can actually train your younger players, and those tactics where I just mentioned, I stick to them, they are guaranteed to excel. I can say players like Sadio Mane, of course. He's now a pressing machine, all right. He's a superstar in the real world. He's won trophies with Liverpool, and he's already like a superstar at Bayern Munich. So yeah, that's one example. Another example is Joshua Kimmich, all right. He was trained at the Red Bull Academy, and as a result, he's already a midfield maestro. Oh my goodness, he played like Iniesta or Xavi for Bayern Munich, which is superb. Okay, we need players like this. I also need to mention that Erling Haaland was also trained at the Red Bull Scouting Network. The Red Bull Academy. And look at him now; he's a super striker, and he's actually playing for Manchester City, which is one of the world's best teams. So yeah. So that's how Red Bull invented football, right? They reinvented it. They don't use money to buy big players. They use money to focus on players' individual qualities, and as a result, they transform players into future great stars. So hope you guys enjoyed this mini documentary. Hope you guys like this. Please like, subscribe, and smash that subscribe button. Sorry. See you guys next time. Always be happy. Peace.